I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we dive into the quest for meaning in a world beyond belief with author Jason McKinnon. He has penned a powerful book. It is called The Tragic Comedy. It is a compelling guide that explores profound questions about life, reality, and purpose, offering insights for atheists, agnostics, and anyone seeking clarity. With wit and wisdom, the author unveils a unique perspective on navigating the illusions of existence. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Jason, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thanks for having me, Logan.
What do you mean by the tragic comedy? Tell us about that, the title.
Oh, it's something that I've used to describe my life for many years now. I didn't realize until after I published that the phrase actually goes all the way back to Shakespeare, but
Hmm.
it's just a term to describe this life we live in.
Why do you feel that our life is both tragic and comedic?
Just the fact that it ends makes it tragic. Um, and I think God has a more of a sense of humor than some people might realize, and I feel like I come from a unique situation in which I've experienced that
Hmm.
firsthand.
What's your
And
message of the book? What do you hope readers take away from your book? What do you hope they understand about life once they've read your book?
just that they are a complex, unique individual, and they have a purpose in this world.
Mhm.
That there's a lot more to life than just going to work and paying bills.
Yeah,
That everyone has a soul and that soul needs tending to.
yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the challenges that you feel atheists and agnostics face when seeking meaning in life.
Well, it's hard for me to fathom not believing in anything,
Mhm.
so I'd have trouble with people that are in that situation. And I really just wrote the book to try to talk them out of that, try to instill some belief in the non believers. My wife was agnostic, so I had a lot of practice trying to explain my beliefs to her.
Yeah. And she finally
And
came around?
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be good. You believe laughter is essential in understanding the human condition. Tell us why you think laughter is so important in life.
Well, it's what makes life worth living.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a way of staying positive in a largely negative world.
What
You
advice
have,
do you have to somebody who feels like they're kind of lost or has no purpose in life right now?
well, that's a deep, dark hole to slide into. And, with everything I've been through, that's why I wrote this book is
Mm.
hoping to convince people that they do have a purpose and, they should seek out their purpose.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your book. What will the folks at home find when they read it? Give us an overview of the book.
Well, it's just an introduction that kind of just explains my life experiences from being born and raised in, a Christian household in South Georgia,
Mhm.
um, but with a high level of intelligence and ability for critical thinking. And, I was able to escape, get a college degree, work a career, and see a lot of the world and world travel, experience a lot of different cultures and other religions and kind of put it all together. And then I had a near death experience myself that
Mm.
allowed me to kind of peek behind the veil and make a trip to the afterlife briefly myself. So I'm attempting to prove that it exists, and that folks need to realize that and live their life accordingly.
Yeah. Tell us about your near-death experience. What happened and what did you experience?
Well, it was almost 14 years ago, a massive stroke, laying in my bed. And at one point, I kind of had an out of body experience where my spirit separated from my physical form, and I was able to fly up into the sky, into a rip in the fabric of space time, and go back in time to visit my grandmother on the farm I grew up on. And after I survived that, I kind of felt a little more enlightened than the average Joe, and felt compelled to try to help other people realize that there is an afterlife, that they have a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. That must have been quite an amazing experience, very profound, very life-changing. What do you hope readers take away from your book? What do you hope they understand about life better once they read your book?
I just hope it helps to save as many people as possible, bring as many people out of their depression and lack of belief in anything as possible.
Yeah.
You know, turning my tragedy into a comedy and into a help for all of humanity.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your faith journey. Do you go to church? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? Tell us a little bit about your religious background.
I do go to church. I was born and raised in church, but I always maintained a bit of skepticism about some of the stories. You know, like Noah's Ark, Jonah in the well, the things every agnostic I've ever met gets hung up on. And I've tried to kind of, in my book, make people realize that science and religion don't have to be completely separate, polar opposite things, but you know, science can be the how.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, we're all just spirits driving a meat covered skeleton through this life, and that's the journey. But how we get there can be explained by science.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Has faith helped you in your life when you've had difficult times?
Oh, certainly. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Have you written any other books? Is this your first book?
This is my second book. I have several more I'd like to get around to finishing. I self-published one that's just a fantasy story of my possible ancestors coming over like Vikings or something, and
Mhm.
discovering America. But I kind of turned that into a description of what was going on in my life at the time. Just took all my friends and made them into characters and dropped us in a fantasy medieval world. And I kind of instill some faith and through the end of that story as well. But I'm
Mhm.
really focusing on the tragic comedy
Yeah.
for right now.
Well, wonderful. The name of the book is The Tragic Comedy. It's a compelling guide that explores profound questions about life, reality, and purpose, offering insights for atheists, agnostics, and anyone seeking clarity. With wit and wisdom, the author unveils a unique perspective on navigating the illusions of existence. Jason, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Have a good day.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.